about it. They never do anything about it. We never do. These are fraudulent people. No, but how would you like, the election's over, and we have this person that nobody ever, you hear Harris. Harris. Who the hell is Harris? Nobody even knows who the hell she is. Who the hell is she? Nobody knows who the hell she is. Harris. Ladies and gentlemen, President Harris. Who the hell is Harris? It's true. Ladies and gentlemen, Harris came in by announcing 1 million jobs more than existed. It's a fake. Like 2 days after the election, you feel down, you lost an election. And how about the other side? The other side is saying, man, they said they had a great thing going. They just announced 1 million jobs more than they had. They didn't have 1 million jobs. These are terrible people. I'm telling you, they're terrible people. But let's bring it all together. We love everybody, right? No, we don't, actually. How about her? She's always talking about, no, I want to bring the country together. Trump is Hitler. Excuse me, I shouldn't have said that. No, she's always saying, I want to go on peace, and we want to get together as a country. And, you know, the Trump people are garbage, total garbage. Oh. But we want to get together, and Trump is Hitler, and they're all racist, and they're all this, and they're all that. But we want to have peace, so we want to get along. I don't even know if she knows what the hell she's saying, but it's pathetic. So Kamala failed, economic agenda, wiped out nearly 30,000 private sector jobs just recently, and nearly 50,000 manufacturing jobs just over the last short period of time. Did you know that? You lost 50,000 manufacturing jobs. That's better with a mic. That's better. Thank you, backstage. These mic guys, I'm telling you, I'm having a lot of problems with mics lately. I'm not happy. Get yourself a new contractor, please. And don't pay the bill for this contractor. And then they'll write a story, Trump doesn't pay bills. I pay bills. You know what I do? I pay more than I'm supposed to when they can do a good job. But when they don't do a good job, don't pay your damn bill. That's my first. Man. I got to do these speeches like 3-4 times a day for 62 days almost. And then on top of it, I have a mic that doesn't work half the time. All right. Our manufacturing sector is now in very severe recession. Almost 100,000 manufacturing jobs are killed since the start of the year. Think of that. Think of that. 100,000. That's a lot of jobs, especially when you add on the fraudulent almost 1 million jobs, right? So that's 1.1 million. 150,000 Americans joined the unemployment rolls last month. You know that. You don't hear that from these fake news people because they don't report it. They don't report it. They don't report it, just like they don't show how many people are in this room because they don't do it. Just like they don't show the videos. A friend of mine, you know, we do videos now. We made a little money. We bought some things for like $1 million. Can you believe it? I spent $1 million for some screens so you people could see better. Oh, think of it. Think of it. And you know the problem? I have a friend, he's watching. A number of people called me. They said, we loved your rally last night. It's too bad we couldn't see the videos. What do you mean you couldn't see the videos? He said, they don't put them on. I said, of course they do. But they don't. You know why? Because they're told not to. And they're told not to show the crowd size where you go from room to room, from place to place. We never have an empty seat, and nobody leaves early. But we never have an empty, you know what? We never have an empty seat. But I said, I want to have them show. Oh, we have it out with them all the time. A friend of mine said they don't show the thing. And think of the cameras, right? All they have to do is right there. There's the screen, there's the screen. All they have to do is 1 inch right, ding. 1 inch up, ding. And they can see it, but they don't want to do that because they don't want to show because they're fake news. That's why they're fake news. And most importantly, nearly 250,000 people dropped out of the labor force last month. Can you believe this? We're in a depression. You better hope you vote for me, because I'm going to get you out of it fast. But under these losers, it's only going to get worse. This would only get worse. This was only get worse. You're not going to have a country left. Honestly, if you don't vote for Trump, you're not going to have a country left. Under Kamala's nation-wrecking policies, the American worker is absolutely drowning. You're drowning. You're not going to have your job very soon. And that stupid fool at United Auto Workers, that poor, stupid fool that runs the union, he said, yes, we'll go. He agreed to all electric cars. And I said they wouldn't work 5 months ago. And you know what? Now they don't work. I mean, look, all electric. Electric cars are great, but for a certain percentage of people, okay? You don't force it on everybody, nor do you say everybody has to have a hybrid, which are also great, or an all-gasoline-powered car. The only thing we don't want is a hydrogen car, because hydrogen, if somebody said, well, they don't work, but very seldom, sir. I said, what is seldom? Well, you know, once every 2 or 3 weeks. Well, what happens if it doesn't work? Sir, the person is unrecognizable. The person in the car or people in the car are absolutely unrecognizable. It's like a major bomb went off, but we're working on the problem. I said, I have no interest in hydrogen. Whoever the hell's working on hydrogen, we don't want a hydrogen car. Can you imagine? You call the wife, there's your husband alone, the tree. I don't see him. The tree's bright red. I don't see him. The data shows that 100% of all net job gains, listen to this, think of it, it's all gone to the migrants, along with African-American jobs are at the worst, one of the worst levels. They're all going to migrants. The African-American, when you see those numbers, that's the numbers your fake news ought to show you, because they're going to come out with numbers right after the elections. It's going to show that all those people that illegally come across the border with their open border policy are taking the African-American jobs away. So. Now, can you imagine? So, you know, guys have jobs for 20 years. They've got a family. They have everything. They're doing a good job. They're good people, good workers. And their jobs are being taken away by people that just came in. And it's not right. Hispanic jobs also, to a lesser extent. Union jobs will be affected, not yet, but they will be very much so. But the African-American jobs, you ought to tell them to go get you the real numbers, because when you see this, it's going to be probably after the election. You're going to be really angry. You're going to say, you know, I wish I voted for Trump. He got me criminal justice reform. He got me the colleges, historically black colleges and universities. I took care of them. I took care of them. I took care of them. You know, every year they'd come to Washington, the heads of the nice guys, a lot of nice people, actually. After 2 years, I said, why do you guys keep coming to Washington? These were the heads of the colleges, black colleges, and very important group of schools, actually, and great people that I got to really like some of them. Some of them became friends of mine. And in the third year, I said, you're here again. Why are you here? I never asked them the first 2 times. Because they make us come back every year for money because they have funding. And I said, why don't they give you a long-term deal? He said, they would never do it. I said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to give you a long-term deal for more money than you're asking, because you're not asking for enough. And I got them taken care of. And I said, the only bad thing about what I'm doing is I'll never see you again. Most likely, I'll never see you again, which is sad. But you know what? It's wrong what they're doing to you. They had to come back for years and years. They came back every year, hat in hand. One guy said they make us like beggars, These are black, wonderful people that run the universities. They run the universities. You're right. So I took care of that. I took care of so many things. But remember, the criminal justice reform, I was called by some people at CNN that I'm the only one that can get it done because I can bring some conservative votes over. And I did do that. And I got criminal justice reform done. And it was really, the black population wanted it more than anybody else because it was very unfair what was happening. And we got it done. And I'll tell you, and I made this statement, with the exception of who? Abraham Lincoln, I did more as president for the black population than any other president in the history of our country. But now the migrants are going to take those jobs that you have, and you should demand before the election that you see, because you'll never vote for Kamala. You never vote for her. She doesn't know what the hell she's doing. Kamala's inflation nightmare has cost a typical American family $30,000 in higher prices, and she's continuing to cost you an additional $1,100 for every single month. That's because of what they've done with inflation. They took, I had no inflation. We had no inflation. We had no inflation. We went from essentially no inflation to the highest inflation in the history of our country. And then they say they're going to vote for these fools. They're not going to vote for these fools. Remember, I had virtually you had no problem. You were making money, you were putting money away, you had money left over, you could go out shopping, and your prices weren't quadrupled for a sausage, for a piece of lettuce, for an apple. Now the prices have gone so high. Everyone tells me about the word groceries. For groceries, cars, look at the price of cars. Look at the price of education. These schools they're going crazy with the education prices. They're going absolutely crazy. But I had no inflation. I had prices stable. We wouldn't put up with it. We would talk to people, too, if they, were ripping you off. We would talk to people. We had smart people, the best people. And now look at what happened. The inflation is eating everybody alive. It's eating especially our senior citizens. That's why I do no tax on Social Security benefits, because it gets you back to even. But now that very low IQ person who wants to be, have we ever had a low IQ president before? You have to know the opposition. You have to know President Xi. The press hates when I say it. I say very smart. If I use the word brilliant, they'll say, he said he's brilliant. No, he controls 1.4 billion people with an iron fist. No, he's not brilliant. But these are very smart people. These are brilliant people. These are people that like their country. Maybe they don't, but they run their country tough and smart. And we have nobody to compete with them. We have people that it's like your high school football team playing. What's a good team today? Let's see. What's a good team? What's a good team? Oh, the Detroit Lions, right? I couldn't have said that 2 years ago. Good. I got bailed out. I'm trying to say, what the hell? The worst thing you can do is mention some team that's not from the area. And I'm saying, oh, shit, I'm in Michigan. What the hell am I going to do? I'm stuck up here. See, John, she wouldn't be able to figure that out, She couldn't even get off the stage when she said, we have 32 days left. Remember? The teleprompter froze and she couldn't get off the stage. No, it's like your high school team playing the Detroit Lions. That's right. That's a pretty good team. They did a good job after so many years, right? They did a good job. See, that's what good management is. You get the right people. It's the same thing in government. You get the right people and good things happen. But now, Kamala wants to impose the largest tax hike in American history and raise your taxes by at least $3,000 a year. It's much worse than that, actually, because she wants to terminate the tax cuts that you've gotten. I stand before you today as the only candidate who can, we're going to rescue this thing. We're going to be able to do it, and it's going to happen fast. It's going to be rescued. Your prices are going down. We're going to drill, baby, drill. We're going to bring prices down. Who can rescue our economy from total obliteration and restore our country to full prosperity, explosive growth, and maximum strength. It is about growth, you know, it's about growth. It's about some proper cost cutting. You know who we're going to use for that? Elon. He thinks he can find $2 trillion, only Elon. Anybody that can have that rocket come down the way it came down, that sucker. Right? How about that? How cool was that? He's the only one that can do it. Cutting 2 trillion, finding 2 trillion is easy when you can do that, and he wants to do it. You know where he is right now? He's campaigning in Pennsylvania for Donald Trump. How cool is that, right? How cool. No, he's cool. He wore that black hat. Remember the black hat? He called it dark Maga, right? Dark Maga. You'd look good in that hat. He called it dark Maga. He looked cool. You know what happened? I don't think we sold one dark hat in 2 years. I didn't even know we had them. You want to know the truth? And everything's subtle, where it says, "Make America Great Again." It was also in black. So you had black on black. That's called very subtle. And he wore it and he loved it. And he did great. He made a speech, did great. We had 107,000 people in Butler, PA, right? Honoring the firefighter, Corey. Honoring Corey the firefighter. 107. And Elon got up and made his speech, and he did a good speech. He said, "I've never seen so many people. I've never seen anything like it." And then, because, you know, he comes sort of out of a laboratory. I mean, you know, what he likes is, it's where he feels comfortable. All of a sudden, he's on the stage. He's got all those people. And he's wearing the hat. I said, "What is it?" He said, "Dark Mag." I said, "Listen, that hat looks great, Elon." Okay. So I sold like 2 hats in the last year, Dark Maga. Nobody bought them. We had a run on the hats. They sold 71,000 black hats. Can you believe it? 71,000. You make money with money. It's the way it is. It's a hot item. Anyway, his just released numbers plainly indicate our economy is a total disaster and is expected to get very substantially worse. It's a wonderful time for me to come in. You know, this is what I want. No, I would have rather come in when things are going in the right direction, but we're gonna get it straightened out fast. It's gonna be, we'll have the best economy you've ever had. You know, the stock market's going up. Scott Bessent, some of the smartest analysts on Wall Street said it's only going up for one reason, because Trump's leading in the polls and everyone thinks Trump's going to be president. They think Trump's going to win the election. That's why it's going up. Now, here's the bad news. They say if he doesn't win, you're going to end up in a depression. It's, boy, wait till you see that. It'll be a 1929 style economic depression that will absolutely crush your incomes and all that stuff. But we're not going to talk about that, because we want to make sure we win. And when we win, you are 4 days away from the best jobs, the biggest paychecks, and the brightest economic future the world has ever seen. You're going to be great. You'll love it. And we will end Kamala's economic disaster and launch a brand new Trump economic miracle. You know, Steve Moore, a great economist. He's great, actually. He is a great guy, right? He is a great guy. He just wrote a book called The Trump Economic Miracle. Just came out. It's a bestseller. Go buy it. It's great. I mean, it's a great book. I mean, what the hell? It's like $20. It's $20. Give the guy $20. No, it's a great book. It's a hot book. The Trump Economic Miracle by Steve Moore. Go buy it. It's great. He really tells us how we did it and what we're going to do. It's, you know, not that complicated. I will massively cut taxes for workers and small businesses, and we will have no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security benefits for our great seniors. And you know, they're going to claim Donald Trump has a conflict of interest because I'm a senior and I'm giving. They're going to say he only did it Because he didn't want to pay tax. Oh, they'll come up with something. They'll say there's some reason that he did it. No, I think, you know, the fixed income seniors, which is 96%, you don't look like a senior to me, let me tell you. You look like a good senior, but I don't feel like a senior. Does anybody feel like a senior? I don't feel. I feel better now. I think I'm sharper and better now than I was 25, 30 years ago. You know, I do, I swear. I'll let you know when I don't. In fact, you'll probably know before me. All you have to do is watch. There'll be a day when you get up here, you say, where am I? Like Joe did, right? Where am I? Where are the stairs? Where the hell are the stairs? Oh, there they are. You'll know. I think I'll know before you, actually. I think I will. And but I think we have a long way to go. Good parents, you know, it's nice to have parents that lived a long time. Because if you believe in that, right? I do. I believe in that. It's called genetics. Genetics is good. Not everything, but it sure as hell is good. It's better to have good genetics than bad genetics, right? And I will support a tax credit for family caregivers who are amazing people who take care of a parent or a loved one. And you know, if we didn't have family caregivers, we wouldn't have enough hospitals. If we doubled our capacity, we wouldn't have enough. These people do so much, and we're going to get them a tax credit. To rapidly reduce inflation, I will end Kamala's war on American energy, and we will drill, baby, drill. Thank you. And I'll cut your energy prices in half within 12 months. We're going to cut your energy prices, and that's going to be the beginning, and we're going to bring your cost of groceries, foods, everything, we're going to all come down. That's what caused the problem. The energy is what caused it, because they came in and they destroyed what I had built. What a stupid group of people. All he had to do is go to the beach. You know, he went to the beach all the time, right? Somebody said he looks great. He's 82 years old. He looks unbelievable in a bathing suit. But he went to the beach. And he had a hard time moving. You know those things, they weigh like about 6 ounces. They're aluminum, hollowed aluminum. They're so light. They're meant for children and very old people. And what happens is he couldn't move it. He needed people to help him. So a kid came along who's 5 years old and helped him. But he went to the beach, and he had one quality that I don't have. And I wish I could have it. I'd pay a lot for it. He has the ability to fall asleep instantly with cameras on. Who the hell could do that? And you see him falling asleep and drooling out the right side of his mouth, and he's gone. And he gets a good rest. I don't do that. I toss and turn and turn and toss. I'm thinking about how the hell I'm going to make money for you people. Tossing and turning. Always tossing, turning, spinning around like a top. How the hell? Thinking about China, thinking about Russia, the Russia hoax. How about the Russia hoax? Was that? That was another deal. I will cut a record number of job-killing regulations. I will terminate the Green New Scam, the biggest scam, the greatest scam in the history of our country. And I will end Kamala's insane electric vehicle mandate, saving the Michigan auto industry from extinction. And you know, I was here 4 weeks ago. I was at the Detroit Economic Club, right? And we had a meeting, and it was about automobiles, cars, and stuff, because you're getting killed. Look, you just lost 40, 50,000 jobs. This guy, the head of the union, you know, I'm leading by far in the popular poll, in the rank and file with the union. But they have guys that only go for Democrats. That's all right. Sean Fain, or whatever the hell his name is. So listen. And I told the story about a year ago. I have a friend that builds auto plants. Has anyone heard this story? Should I tell it again? Should I? John, oh, there he is, my man. Come on up here. Get up here. This guy is so great. This guy, come on up. Secret Service may rough you up a little bit. Come on up here. This guy gets it. He got it. Yeah, look at him. Look at him. Come here. Look at the arms on him. Look at the arms. All I can say is I'm taller than him, but he has much bigger arms. Much bigger. And he's a great guy, and he loves his whole, I think you just love Detroit, you love the area. But I've been telling you for a year and a half about this incident that I had. A friend of mine, John, he builds plants. That's all he does. He's a rich guy. He builds plants. If you told him to build an apartment, he wouldn't know how. If you told him to put down asphalt, he would. But he can build a plant like nobody. He builds all of them, most of them. And he was telling me that he's building some big plants. I said, I want to see one. Let's go. I want to see a plant under construction. I like that. I like that stuff. I was always good at it, too. Always a good builder. I always built great buildings. So I wanted to see one. He said, well, we'll have to go to Mexico. We know the story. We're going to have to go to Mexico because all of the big plants. I said, what do you mean Mexico? What about here? No. Oh, this is a year ago. He said, really? Let me see. And he showed me a plant that's the biggest plant, I think, in the world, right? It's the biggest. It would ruin Detroit. It does probably more than all of your plants put together. It's massive, owned by China. So China was going to come in and build one of the biggest plants in the world, I think the biggest plant by far, actually, in the world, and some others, right along our border, make cars, put them into here, and you can forget about Detroit, you can forget about Michigan. It would be over. And I didn't like it. So he told me about it a year ago, and then I started thinking about it. And I said, you know, if they build that plant, and you know, they're decimating Europe, what they're doing, they're dumping cars in there like crazy, and it's being decimated, the auto industry, the manufacturing of car industry. So what happened is he said, no, this is the way it is, it's going to happen. I said, I said, we're not going to let that happen, because if they build these massive plants, especially this one monster plant that's so big that you wouldn't believe it. So I announced when I was at the Detroit Economic Forum, and a little before that I'm going to put 100% tariffs, and if that's not high enough, I'll make it 200%. And I announced it a little before the forum, actually, and I said, no, we're going to put 100%, and maybe I'll make it 200, maybe I'll make it 300, 400, I don't give a damn. I'll make it whatever I have to make it. And that was it. I just made the announcement. I didn't make a big deal out of it. The fake news didn't pick it up because they don't want to pick it up. But I didn't want to see Detroit destroyed, and other places like South Carolina and Tennessee and a lot of other places. But your state more than any other state, without question. And so what happened is I forgot about it. Now I'm speaking, and I see this guy, John, the builder of auto plants. And I said, I'd like to see him after I speak. So I speak. I'd made my speech. It was a brilliant speech. Brilliant. And I saw him, and I said, John, how's that plant going that you're building in Mexico on the border? He said, sir, they've canceled that plant last week. They're not going to build it. Because they think you're going to win, and they think you're going to put tariffs on the cars, and therefore they're not going to be able to bring any cars into the United States. And they said, if Trump wins, this thing is not going to work at all. So, but I'll tell you what, that plant will go up so fast if there's a mishap. Here's the good news. There's only one way there can be a mishap, and you know what that way is. And I hope to hell that doesn't happen. I hope to hell that doesn't happen again. So I'm just proud of this guy because he's been on my, I didn't know who the hell he is.
Got you back.
I didn't know who he was. All I know is he has very good, strong arms. I'm impressed by his arms. He's a strong guy, but he was a good guy and a smart guy. And he was against the electric cars because he said they're going to be made in China. You know, you're going to get 2 good years, and after that, nobody's going to work. Did you see? 37,000 auto jobs were cut this month. 37,000.
I got more news for you.
Well, you can tell them, okay? You tell them. So here's the story. They're not building the plant. We're going to build those plants here.
Thanks to President Trump. Thank you, sir.
Okay, guys, listen. President Trump is telling you the truth about when we met, and it was a year and a half or so ago, and he asked me questions. He said, how does your industry like these EV mandates? And I said, sir, they don't like them. Nobody wants to buy those. You know, we're not only auto workers, we're consumers too, right? We don't want to drive those things. How do you pull a trailer with 4 snowmobiles on it up to Traverse City when it's 5 degrees below zero in an EV? You can't do it. But Kamala Harris thinks she knows better than the experts in Detroit. She wants no more combustion engines, internal combustion engines, produced by 2035 because she's smarter than the engineers at General Motors, right? So President Trump gets it. Every time we met, we started talking backstage, and he would ask me questions. I'd give him feedback. We'd talk back and forth, and it became kind of a regular thing. So I got in the habit of coming up here and kind of giving him updates on how things are going in the auto industry. I was holding a rally every week outside of a different auto plant in the Detroit area with a lot of these guys behind me. And we were talking to auto workers all summer long for 4 or 5 months. And I would ask them, I'd do my own poll. What's it like inside? Are they voting for Trump? How's our support? I'd say, do we have majority in there? They'd say, majority? You got 65 or 70%. We're not voting for Joe Biden and then Kamala Harris. So don't believe anything you read in the newspaper. Don't believe anything you see Sean Fain talking about. The auto workers, UAW members, are voting for Donald Trump for president. Okay, that's the good news. That's the good news. But now I got some bad news for you, and this is going to really tick you off and motivate you to get your friends out to vote. Yesterday, Ford Motor Company sent out notices to all their workers at the Dearborn Ford pickup truck, the Lightning, 100% electric vehicle. They laid everybody off till next year. All right? So those people, through the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, are unemployed. We don't know when they're coming back, but it won't be at least until next year. So I don't know if you saw that news. Now I got some other news that the people in the back there don't like to talk about, but I'm going to pass it on. Now this is big news. Because I've been getting called up on stage and I talk to President Trump on a regular basis, 3 vice presidents at Stellantis reached out to me through a friend of mine who's very tied in with the auto industry, and they wanted to give President Trump some bad news about what Stellantis has planned for next year. But they would only do it on the condition of 100% complete anonymity, because they would be fired and lose their jobs if it came out that they had leaked this information because they had signed non-disclosure agreements. Now, these are not people on the assembly line. These are not high-low drivers like I was. The one gentleman that, the lead of these 3, is a vice president of manufacturing. Now, he recently retired, but they told me, and they sent me all the data and information to back it up, and I've gotten it to the proper people that can vet it, check it out, corroborate it, and make sure it's all legit and accurate. But they told me that the expansions, quote-unquote expansions to the plants in Mexico that Stellantis is currently working on to handle additional capacity, those are going to be the only capacity when they get up and running, because they're going to move all the American production south of the border to Mexico. Now remember, Stellantis is not an American company. You know, Chrysler's been used and abused like a stepchild. They were bought by Mercedes. They were bought by Fiat. Now they're owned by a French company. So they don't care about you. They don't care about our jobs. You've heard all the speakers up here today. Every job in the Detroit area relies on the auto industry. But a French company that owns Chrysler is about to send all the Chrysler production to Mexico. There's only one way to stop this. There's only one person who will stop it. His name is Donald J. Trump. So I'm asking you, When you leave here today, you got 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, to get every single person in your contact list out to vote. Not Tuesday. Get them to vote tomorrow and Sunday. Okay? Tell them, do not wait till Tuesday. They got to do it over the weekend. One phone call and they'll know where they got to go. But you got to get them out. And then when they vote, then they can get everybody on their contact list out to vote. We got to make it too big to rig. Let's elect Donald J. Trump, the 47th President of the United States.
He's a hell of a guy. That guy. Thank you. So he's something. He loves the country. He loves your state. Tell Solantis, I think I'll send him back. He's quite good at delivering a message. Tell Solantis that if they plan on moving, we're going to charge them a 100% tariff on every car they put in, and they won't move. You know who said they're going to move? A company I buy a lot of stuff from them. A lot. Great company, John Deere, going to move big sections of their company from Iowa, I believe they said, to Mexico. And I told them, and I did it in writing, I said that if you do it, beware, because I'm going to charge you about 100% tariff on everything you make to put back. So if you're going to move from Iowa, and if you're going to move from Iowa to Mexico, and then you think you're going to make it in Mexico and sell it over here and sell it at that cost, not going to happen. We're going to do a 100% tariff. They announced, I believe, that they're no longer making the move, didn't they? I think that's what I heard. Somebody told me the other day that they announced that they're not making the move. Why would they make the move? It'll cost them much more to make the product over there when we do this. In other words, we're going to use that. Look, the most beautiful word in the dictionary to me is tariff. I think it's the most beautiful word. It's going to make our country rich. And these stupid people, look, politicians, there's only two reasons why they wouldn't want to use tariffs. They're stupid or they're corrupt. There's no third reason. They're either stupid or they're corrupt. I just stopped the largest plant in the entire world, which would destroy your state. I think this plant made more than all of Detroit put together. You know, it's a big, and I just stopped it, and I'm not even president yet, okay? Think of what I could do when I'm president. But I have to find out. But I'm telling you, I told John Deere, we told them very strong. We said, look, you're going to move out of Iowa. We're putting about 100% tariff on anything you make. There was a different kind of a plant. There was parts and this and that. I said, if you're going to do that, we're putting in a tariff. And that was it. I sort of went on to other things like how to get elected very easily. And I heard 2 days ago that they're not going to build the plants here. So it's pretty good, right? It's pretty good. But you're a hell of a guy, I tell you. He's a friend of mine. I'll make interest on car loans. So here's the thing I thought of, and it's funny, it's not that complicated. It's going to do tremendous good for your area because here's what I'm doing. I thought of this idea, and then I expanded. You know, a lot of times you have an idea, and then you expand. I was always good financially, and I was always very good on construction. In this case, construction doesn't matter. It's finance that matters. And people call me up. It doesn't sound complicated. They say, from Wall Street, 182 IQ guys, brilliant guys. Where the hell did you ever come up with that idea? Like, as an example, no tax on tips. I did that. Everyone went crazy. Nobody ever heard of it before, right? No, it's true. And then that dumb woman, very dumb woman, that low IQ individual, like 2 months later, stood up. Today, I'd like to announce that we're not going to have tax on tips. And she got booed out of the place. You know, it didn't work. You never heard a second. Nobody talked about it after that because she was so. You know, I don't like. I mean, the one problem with what I do is, I do it and then somebody else copies you, but they don't have the brain power to get it done. So I had this idea, but then I had a better idea using the first idea. But it's all pretty simple. I'm going to make interest on car loans fully tax deductible. That's it, right? And people say, Where the hell did you ever? Isn't it funny? It's like the paperclip, you know? Years ago, long before you, youngster, years ago, somebody came up with the idea of the paperclip. I think 129 years ago, a long time ago. And he had a little piece of steel, metal, whatever. He bent it around, and start selling it. And everybody saw it, and they said, why the hell didn't I come up with that idea, right? The paperclip. But this is sort of like that. So that's fully deductible. That's going to be unbelievable. But here's the problem. I don't give a damn if they buy a car in Japan or China or South Korea. What the hell good does that do for us? So then I came up with phase 2 of the same idea, fully tax deductible, but only if the car is made in the U.S.